Lenny Abrahamson directed the incredible movie Room back in 2015, so I was very excited to see what he had in store for us next. With that said, his next movie's here, so I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. The Little Strangers. This is a new movie starring Domhnall Gleeson, Ruth Wilson. As I mentioned, it's directed by Lenny Abrahamson, who directed the incredible movie Room back in 2015 with Brie Larson, Jacob Tremblay. The guy was nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards, so he kind of had his pick of what to do next, and I guess he chose to adapt the book The Little Stranger to the big screen and cast Domhnall Gleeson and Ruth Wilson in it. This movie takes place somewhere in the 1930s or 40s or somewhere around then. It's very gothic in nature, takes place in countryside England, and there's this big manor house near Domhnall Gleeson's residence. He's a doctor. He's sent out to take care of this case at the country house. He kind of falls for the girl that runs the house. That's Ruth Wilson. She has a brother. She's related to Will Poulter, who's also in the movie. He's a little bit disfigured. They have a servant in the house as well, and their mother also lives in the house. The house is kind of a difficult history. There's some stuff that happened in the house in the past. There's some stuff going on in the house now. Some difficult family relationships. Some ultimately familial drama that kind of pushes the plot of the movie forward. It's a little bit difficult to describe because this movie honestly has so much going on and so little that I honestly cared about. This movie, I'll be honest, I was very much excited for it because Lenny Abrahamson was directing. I know Domhnall Gleeson and Ruth Wilson are both quite good actors, but coming out of it, I'm just like, nah, that was really dry. I didn't feel like there was much to it. I didn't really get the characters. I didn't really care what they were doing. There was so much going on in the movie too that I just couldn't relate to it whatsoever. I was just like lost. It felt like it was trying so hard to accomplish so much, and coming out of it, I said to my friend, I'm like, yeah, that was definitely adapted from a book because you feel like there was so much going on in the book. The book was probably like 400 or 500 pages or something like that, and they need to condense it for the movie. You can always tell when movies are adapted from books because they have like kind of segments or these like little stories that you're kind of supposed to care about all of it, but ultimately since so much going on, you don't really want to caring about any of it because you don't just relate to one central theme that's going on. And I'm fine with a movie having more than one theme. In fact, I think that makes it very, very layered of a movie when it does. But in this case, it just, again, feels sloppy. It feels unfocused. Because at one point, you're supposed to focus on, all right, there's a troubled history of the house. Is it kind of like a horror movie type of thing going on? We're going to have like a little thriller on our hands. You're supposed to focus on, oh, Domhnall Gleeson has kind of a history associated with this manor house. He's kind of obsessed with classicism or something like that. He wants to like be in a higher class than what he was growing up. There's also the relationship between him and Ruth Wilson's character. There's the relationship between Ruth Wilson and Will Poulter. There's the relationship between Ruth Wilson and her mom. There's the relationship between everyone in the family and the maid. There's the relationship between Domhnall Gleeson and Ruth Wilson being out in public together. There's the relationship between Domhnall Gleeson and everybody in his medical community. It felt like it was so much happening at once, and it felt like it was so slow because these things would happen in order. And you'd be like, when are we coming back to the other thing that was actually kind of interesting? Oh, not for a while? Well, then I'm going to check out because none of this is exciting at all. Again, you couldn't get behind any of the characters because none of it was focused. None of it felt like it was adding any emotion to these people. None of them felt like they were driven by one central thing because there was so much going on that you just feel bored watching them. You're like, who am I supposed to relate to? Nobody? Alright, I guess I'm just going to watch this kind of slow drag. The style of the movie was good. I thought it was kind of shot decently. I liked the gothic flair to it. But ultimately, I didn't feel like there was anything super worth investing my time into in this thing. I didn't relate to any of the characters whatsoever. I didn't think that the journey that they went on either was quite that interesting because I couldn't really tell if there was a journey there. It just like it was kind of a drama period piece about what was going on with these fictional people at this one time in history. And, I didn't really dig that because, again, it didn't feel like it was driven by anything. It felt like it was just stuff from a book on screen moving. And that was it. Again, I didn't really get anything out of it. I felt like there was no purpose behind it. I felt like there was no substance behind it. And again, that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know every movie's supposed to have substance and everything that you see on screen is supposed to have meaning of something. I thought the ending was good. I thought the ending had some kind of interesting stuff to think about. And I thought that there was this one sequence in the middle where it felt kind of horror movie-ish. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of what I would have wanted. But again, the movie as a drama is just kind of a slow burn because it doesn't really set anything up all that well. And because it doesn't really feel all that focused. And because it doesn't really have all that many compelling characters. But guys, with that said, those are just my thoughts on The Little Stranger. Be sure to let me know all yours in the comment section down below. The movie's kind of split right now. My friend really liked it. I didn't think it was all that great. I mean, I guess we, we'll wind up needing to see what Rotten Tomatoes says. I think it's somewhere around 60% right now. So again, kind of, split bag, but, or whatever. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter at JohnHayeck, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for tons of posts. My links, all through those in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I'm John Hayeck, so thank you guys so much for watching.